Hi, thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Spiritual Scientist. I'm Victor Hampson. Thanks for checking me out. Been staying home, not going out. I have been running. So I've been running when I can, when it's not freezing outside. I'm in New York. I'm running 5.5 miles a day, so I'm getting in shape. And so I've been looking, this is, seeing what I could do, doing projects, writing. I've been doing a lot of blogs and posting videos about meditation and doing a lot of distance healing. I have some great clients that are attaining me for upgraded services. I'm doing chakra balancing and enabling chakras and all this kind of good stuff. So it's good for me. It's good for everybody else. So I'm staying positive. So should you. I'm going to talk about some things going on right now in the world, recent events. I thought it'd be interesting. And, you get sucked into the conspiracy things. So I'm going to touch on some of them. The first one, I have some notes here, so I'm going to read. Just remind myself about Google. So Google now has algorithm, as everybody knows, is now free. You could Google whatever you want. So you could Google about Kennedy, and all of a sudden things that you didn't know about being shot or this and that will pop up, and which is very interesting. There is, and why did that happen? Now, in a video I was surmising before that maybe Google freed up their algorithm because they knew everybody would be sequestered, and maybe one of the alphabet groups came to them and said, hey, free it up. Everybody's in lockdown. And that way we could actually see, we'll give them enough rope and we'll see, who's looking at what. But I don't know if that's really true. Something interesting I found out right after I did the video is there was a suit against companies like Google and Facebook and all these other companies about AI and about how AI is detrimental for everyone and about what they're doing. It's like $1 billion suit. It was drawn up in California. And I believe that might be one of the reasons that they were saying that one of the things in the suit specifically was cited was how Google's algorithm stops people from searching, and it's for political means and shaping people's minds and wills and everything like that. So they really hit home with that lawsuit that's been filed. I think preliminarily, before going to court about this, I think Google rescinded their, a lot of their programs and freed up that algorithm because they could say, hey, we've had that, we changed that policy months ago, so they don't get sued for like $1 billion. So that is something that's very interesting. I thought I'd bring that up. Do your own research on it, but very interesting if you're interested. Trump definitely, to talk about Trump, I never really talk about him, but he definitely comes from ego. He just talks about his political stance, and he actually said, boy, more people are looking at me than The Bachelor. I mean, it's just insane. Yeah, people are looking at you because they're worried about losing their lives. They're not looking at you because you're handsome. Like, he's just such coming from ego. I think he's used by higher forces for good things, but just so amazing that he comes from ego. It's just amazing. He just made updates like for Easter. He wanted the congregations full at the peak of what they're saying the coronavirus was. He's been advised. He knows that people are saying, it's going to be the peaks then. But he just said that because he wanted a market rally, and he wanted, I'm just putting a positive spin on it, which is just, people want to hear the truth, right? That's why you tune into this channel. You want to hear the truth about these things. So that's what we're talking about. Maybe he was just thinking the multiverse would shift, so he didn't do anything about the coronavirus for a while. Maybe you just thought, hey, maybe this will all go away. That could be it. You know, I was watching news a couple days ago, and this the head WHO guy that keeps coming up on TV, the real short guy, he was saying that I guess he said on national TV, I guess this timeline has the virus in it, and that's how we have to deal with it. And it was very interesting because, as you know, channels like mine and other ones that talk about the Mandela Effect and timelines. And then the news reporter cited something else about the timeline as well. So it's interesting how it's going into mainstream vernacular, as it were. So I thought I'd mention that. I did mention about the 100 angels before, that 100 stars that disappeared. So what happened was they took these 100 stars that they have this ability when they use all these telescopes and they plot them, and they log them in a computer, and they have this AI computer that scanned it, and then it went through its database and said, hey, by the way, 100 stars have disappeared. So I keep talking about that because it wasn't like 101 stars disappeared, or it wasn't 99 stars or 98 stars. It was 100 even. And if you look at the biblical reference, there's 100 stars exactly in a centurion has 100 soldiers underneath them, and that's how Jesus was relating in the Bible about. Oh, cool! I just got a message that I did a distance healing, a big upgrade for somebody who he sent me a lot of money for it, which is cool. I do a lot of things for free, but I do higher end services for people, and I discounted because he's out of work, but it should have been a lot more actually. And he just messaged me. And I told him I'm working on it, and it's funny. He sent me something, and he didn't read the message, I think, maybe, but he's saying exactly what I said was going to happen to him. It's not psychosomatic, and he's feeling full of light, and it's awesome. It's really cool. If you want that, contact me. But anyway, I was just reading that above me. But the reason I mention this again, I was looking through the Bible again, and 200 angels, when there was 200, when the Nephilim came down from heaven, and they went into, they made those giants in the past of, and they saw women, and then they were attracted to women, and they, came down, they made a pact. You read that story. Another interesting Mandela effect is now there's a head angel, and they actually, Sephirim, they give him a name. So before, when I went through and I did it, if you look back, I think about 4 videos, I talked about how I recall that there was only really maybe 1, 2 angels at the most in the Bible named. They never named any other angels. There was Archangel Michael, and then they talked about like Satan, of course, he was a fallen angel, and Beelzebub, but now you're having all these different names in the Bible of angels. So this one has another Mandela effect there, where they're going specifically giving the head angel in charge of the 200 that were fallen then, they're giving the name. Now we have 100 fallen angels, and I was thinking about it. Also, I said before, maybe the coronavirus is one of those angels that went into the form of the coronavirus and spreading that way. But if you look at what Nephilim are, they're they came on, so they came on the earth, and they're fallen angels. So right now amongst us, we have 100 fallen angels. So that is not great news, but I think the opposite is true as well. I think we have angelic hybrid people as well. So I think both might be in play. So forces of light always win against the darkness. So I think that we have that going on. And it was funny, I watched this other channel And I was going through all of my mind processes about it, and then they were talking. It's called the Prophecy Channel. I think it's called 777, Angel Prophecy Channel, and they were talking about how the woman who's doing it for years. She's always pretty cool. She had a dream, and then in the dream, she had a message from God saying that there were angels among us, hybrids of good angels and bad angels, and that just came up with her, and I've been talking about that for a while on my channel. So I thought I'd mention that again. I did talk about doing upgrades for distance healing. I do a lot of things. I could do a little advertisement for myself, excuse me. So I could help you cut etheric cords for ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend. I could help with the closing up your aura. I specialize in etheric implants removal, which is really cool. I could do that remotely. Pretty advanced stuff I got into. I had some time off a couple years ago. I had shoulder surgery, and I was just like, I gotta do something, take my mind off it. And I got more into distance healing again, and more into distance healing. And then I started doing healings, and I scanned people, and I found, these implants, and I was like, what the? And then I found out about implants, and I didn't really realize, and I did research, so I made myself an expert about it. So many things going on. There was a ortho-hanta virus now in China as well, a second virus, but it's a zoonotic virus. Did we ever think we'd be saying this word like 6 months ago, zoonotic virus? So it is something that you can only get really from rat feces, and then it's not transmittable people to people. But in Shandong, China, 29 people on a bus got it. So I don't know if it's strange, because they say it was only one person, the story I read before, had it, and now 29 people on a bus got it. It might be just fake media trying to spin it, and for people, clickbait. So I would put that in the shelf. But I just thought I'd do a quick video. They've been talking about this QAnon, about mass arrests. I don't know if I agree with all that. They came back with QAnon, the latest intel. When I looked at it, it said that now they're not doing mass arrests. They were just saying that, it's just like they're backing off of that. So it's like, it just seems like, Tom Hanks, everybody was saying, oh, he got arrested. And now he's out in California with his wife, and they're fine. And they had the coronavirus, and they got over it. So I don't know if I, believe all this crap you hear out in them, so I would, use discernment when you hear these kind of things. Just thought I'd talk about that a little bit. I'm working on a couple things. I was going to do another video, which was, some scary stuff, because I've been watching where we are in the galaxy. So I might do a video about that, which is very interesting. And so I've been tracking where the Earth is on the galactic plane. So you'd think that'd be an easy thing to know. They just use parallax, and they can figure out where we are in relation to the black hole in the center of the galaxy. And the scary thing is that we were, as I recall, 42,000 light years away. Last year I was looking at 29,000 light years away. Then it was 28,000 light years away. Then it was 26,000 light years away. And I got online last night. I looked it up and said 25,000 light years away. So I scared the bejesus out of myself. And so I went this morning, looked, and it said, again, 26,000 light years away. So I was praying, hey, I don't want to be sucked down in a black hole. I've been looking at that really closely. Not that there's really anything you can do about it, but I've been looking at the distance between the Earth and the black hole. And I think there's something to it when they keep showing more pictures and pictures of black holes. I understand that they have telescopes on different parts of the planet, and they were finally able to give a resolution, taking that data, correlating that data, and putting it in the computer, and they put all those things together, and they now can show you a picture of a black hole. But I always thought to myself years ago that if they ever show pictures of black holes, we should really worry about it, because obviously we're getting closer to a black hole. My idea behind it was maybe some of the Mandela effects, if not, I don't think all, and I want to say this clearly, not all are from that, but there could be, if the black hole was influence us in pulling us closer, you would see time, there would be like shear, time and space are interrelated, so you would see it would influence our time, and it would pull at different ratios against our reality, and you would see different things reflected in our reality. So you would have glitches. So I think that might answer, again, I'm being very specific, not all Mandela effects, because I have a different theory about what, a lot of these Mandela effects are lumped in one big large category. What I've been doing in my mind is doing different categories, and there's definitely something separate from a lot of what's been lumped in. But what I'm saying is some of the Mandela effects, I believe, are influenced from a time-space continuum. And like I said in a really long time video, I said that a lot of turbulence when you're in a plane are actually affected by, that's a time wave. And I'm not just saying this. Scientists at Harvard, back that up, and they said, yeah, that's what it is. It's time shear. So it's like, when I say shear, it's like a pull, so it's a ripple. And when you're above the Earth, away from the planet a little more, in a plane, you're able to feel it more than on the Earth. And then when you're flying in a plane, you get some turbulence, and they're saying, oh, it's the wind. But I think that's more like an actual time wave, which is super interesting. And you could read the article if you do your own research. I have to look it up again, but there was a couple articles I came across in scientific journals that actually talked about that, that they were saying that, so I believe that actually answers a lot of stuff about the Earth and why we're seeing the Earth change literally underneath our feet, and moving. You're going to see, Antarctic drying up in certain places. I think that it's being affected by, I think a large body like that is affected differently with a time wave than than us ourselves. But it kind of makes sense in a way. I'm still working on that, but I thought I'd share that preliminarily, not fleshed out totally, theory about some of the Mandela effects. But it's interesting because, and I was doing some calculations about how long it would take, if that is true, for us to fall into the black hole. And the reason, and here's where I want to get specific, the reason that people will not know about this, scientists, you'd think they'd be like, oh yeah, time. See, I know this is going to be hard to understand, but time is part of the fourth dimension, and it goes higher dimensional levels. So if you have a linear, I've talked about this in a lot of videos before. If you have a linear mindset, like a two-dimensional mindset, and read my blog, victorhamza.com, I go over the different mindsets. if you have a two-dimensional mindset, you're not going to be able to perceive or even comprehend or notice these kind of things. That's why you wouldn't notice like Mandela effects, because you actually don't have the ability to notice them, because you're constrained with the ability to see these kind of things. I've been working on this as a theory. So if you're in a, and it could be that you're sealed as well. I'm not going against my other videos, but what I'm saying is that the time itself, the noticeable effect of time, if you don't have the ability, a higher dimensional mind, to actually understand it, then you're not going to perceive it and comprehend it. So I think that's what's a lot. I mean, I meditate. I teach meditation. I'm a spiritual guy, obviously. So I perceive, these things, and the time fluctuations in, all these things, where you're watching these other guys who are saying they're spiritual, teachers, gurus, whatever, and they don't say a word about it, right? Because they're really not the real deal. Maybe they are in their own world, where they're, two-dimensional or three-dimensional mind, and maybe they're spiritual in that mind. And as I said in my blog, that the heart has its own frequency that interfaces with a two-dimensional person's frequency with their mindset, and that gives you a higher resonance. So it's not like they can't, perceive things. It's just they can't perceive those things specifically. So I just thought I'd bring that out as well. I don't want to I get pretty deep in these kind of ideas, and I thought I'd bring this up pretty quickly. I cover a lot of stuff in my videos. It's only 22 minutes. I did a study looking at my viewers, and they have 8 minutes. I don't know if everybody sees that with all their viewers, but the algorithm says that people only can watch my videos for 8 minutes. I tend not to believe that. I think that they're more interested in 8 minutes of me, but it could be. So maybe, I try to talk quickly and get a lot of information out there, because if you don't have the attention span, you're not meditating, you don't have the attention span to watch the whole video. It's just the way you are. It's just, every when you watch TV, they come out with a commercial, right? Every 15 minutes, it goes for 5 minutes, gives people a break, because they can't, unless you're moving, you're really riveted, a lot of people just can't sit for that long. They can't concentrate for a long period of time. So by usually around 22 minutes, I think everybody's gone that was watching a video. So I usually leave the cream at the end, so the people watch all my videos and watch the end. You get rewarded with some cool stuff, right? So let's go talk about some cool stuff. Let's see what I got left. So I thought for everybody's interested, I thought, and I've been having a couple ideas. I thought one was, like the government's going to parcel out, $1,200 each. Wouldn't it be great if just like, I know this is silly in a way, but wouldn't it be great if everybody was just rich, right? And they could just, everybody could just be rich. Like they could just say, okay, here's $1 million a person, and we're just going to put it into the debt. I know it sounds crazy, but just try to visualize that with me. If everybody was wealthy, and then, and they would have to go to classes. You would be monitored how you spend your money for a bit. And then if you went, because it's going back into the economy, right? So, but if you say you want to build your own house and all that, but if you're going out buying cars and jewelry and all the stupid stuff, cut those people out. Like, I think they should have like a kind of, you have to take classes and they'd have to monitor you. But the number one thing is the education to know how to spend your money. And then I'm saying almost get off the monetary system, but what I'm really saying is that if everybody had wealth, because there's enough things to go around, there really is, then we could have a different system. And I think a system in place, like for how you benefit other people, how you help other people, or what your input in society, like in Star Trek, right? What do they do in Star Trek? What are they doing? What, you know, how everybody has these replicators, so they don't really need, you know, base things. So they're all, you know, so everybody, they want, you know, we have to really start visualizing and start thinking in this kind of manner, I think. You know, this is the time where we're having a reset while we're all sequestered and, you know, they're doling out all these, you know, trillions of dollars. Maybe there's a way that we could change society for the better. Maybe we should be building, everybody has some kind of 3D printer to make whatever you want. I think that's what we should really be working on. I was thinking about that. And then everyone, you know, being rich. I thought that was really great. The other thing I thought I'd bring up, which is really neat, there was the two ships. When I'm done with this, check this out yourself. I didn't write down the biblical passage. I believe it's Corinthians 2, 14, 15, I want to say. Or is it 6, 8? Look it up, because there's comfort, and the other one was, what was it? The two ships that came up, the Navy ships to help people. Comfort, and I think it was charity or mercy, comfort and mercy. And I said to myself, you're going to think this is really interesting. I said, comfort and mercy. Where are comfort and mercy in biblical references together? What would, and just to see, and they can't, you know, it comes up. There's only one place, and it's 2 Corinthians. Read that biblical passage. I think it's going to be mind-blowing when you read that. And I think somehow, I know it sounds a little weird, but the ship's names themselves, being that they came to port at the same time to help people at the same time, is showing God's mercy in a way. And I think it's a biblical reference. So, you know, check that out. So I thought that was, I could just do a video just about that itself. I think that would be really interesting. So check out mercy and comfort is the, you know, I drop a lot of information real quickly, and then it's up to you to do more research, and then we could chat about it. So really interesting stuff, right? Anyway, I'm about done. I spilt my guts about stuff, but stay positive. If you need anything, let me know. Comment, like, subscribe, share, all right? You got it? You got it? Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. It's right over there. Subscribe. Don't forget. And then like the video. If you don't like it, people don't know if it's good or not, and then they go to the next one. If you enjoyed it and you liked it, hit the like. If you didn't like it, don't hit the like. But, you know, you could hit the unlike. Whatever. Just hit something. Hit something. All right. Thanks a lot. Have a great night. Be good to yourselves. Bye.